Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today is a special episode. I'm bringing back onto the show Dr. Marty Trevino. He's a cognitive neuroscientist and technologist, and we've been working with each other now for a couple of years, Dr. Marty. Man, it's
That's
just
great.
good to have you back. For everybody that's watching this into the future, we're in December 26th is when we're live streaming this, and man, it's good to see your face, Dr. Marty.
Oh no, thank you, Adam. It's always a pleasure to be here and to talk about cool new concepts and spread the word of science into all the innovation and good things that are happening out in the world.
Awesome. And so you already know the drill, as do our long-term listeners. So Dr. Marty, we'll start with our Mission Matters minute. So at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Dr. Marty, what mission matters to you?
No, my mission is to alter the sensory experience with data and analytics, so that decision makers can make better data-informed, data-driven decisions, and designers can, in fact, build those systems in the next generation in the most awesome way that we further all of those things for the goodness of humanity.
Awesome. Great having you back on. And for everybody watching or listening to this, just so you know, Dr. Marty and Mission Matters, we have a book that's going to be coming out early in January. And you're going to hear more and more about this. We're going to bring Dr. Marty back onto the show and once the book's out and do a deep dive on that as well. But on this particular episode, man, Dr. Marty, I just want to catch up, man. First thing first, I've been following you, and I see when things are in the news. I see other things. I see you got an article published in Pipeline magazine. Like talk to me, man. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so that's the second article I've had published, and then it seems that December is my month, and they are an absolutely wonderful scientific and technical international magazine with a very large readdership, at all different levels. So they're just a great bunch of people trying to push new good messages that can help people. Last year, I published on human and artificial intelligence complementarity, from a neuroscience perspective. Right, we tend to approach, in digital transformation from a data science perspective. Data. Everybody talks about data, and then you AI, and how many features does it have, and how much data is it trained on, and but we rarely approach it from a human factors lens, or as I like to say, the lens of complementarity, and approaching not just artificial intelligence. It was really big in the news last year. Chat GPT and Gemini and many others coming online and doing seemingly just amazing things. Right? I mean, they're returning results that were not always accurate and not always as precise as we would have liked, and sometimes they glitched a little bit, but fundamentally, an absolutely new generation, of robust tools, and we've entered a renaissance of artificial intelligence. So I thought, I see it as an imperative of science, okay, especially hard science, to educate the world, from that lens. There's so much that can be done, that we can dispel myths, we can alter the selection of technology, alter the way it's deployed, and because the human factor is central to everything. You can have the best artificial intelligence program in the world sitting out there, somewhere in cyberspace, and if people don't trust it, if people can't understand it, or it fundamentally does not align from a complementarity perspective, you're not going to see the maximum benefit, right? So it's not enough to just say we're running out and we're including a large language model into our business, and we're going to see all kinds of fantastic things. We have to go deeper. And this month, as a matter of fact, in Pipeline magazine, I published. I spent about the last year really in deep thought and trying novel approaches, applying cognitive neuroscience to data informed decision making.
Yeah.
And one night, in a sleepless night, with my notepad next to me, as people like me have
Yes.
occasionally, right? Something dawned on me, and the article is reimagining human technology and system, embodied complementarity. But
Mm.
it is what I'll say from a pretty unique lens, and that's the lens of learning.
Hmm.
And so the human brain learns in fundamentally very intractable ways. Okay, so
Hmm.
the whole concept I'm turning is called movement through data, and the premise is that dashboards and UIs today are an often just the pinnacle of abstractism. They're
Yeah.
abstract to the human brain. The human brain had not seen a dashboard until what, 20, 25 years ago. Okay. Well, in the
Hmm.
span of human development, especially, the development of the brain, that's nothing, right? So 25 years is nothing. And we've struggled, right? Because if you talk to wonderful, very senior executives and say, is data driven decision making a goal,
Yeah.
within your
I feel like
transformation?
everybody's
And
gonna say yes, right? And they pride
yeah, right.
themselves on that. Like they'd have to, right? Like who's gonna be like, no,
Uh,
we don't want to make data-driven decisions. That makes no
right.
sense for our business, right? Like, how can they even answer no?
Well, right. No, nobody. I've never had anybody say, "I know that's just crazy talk." We're moving back to carbon paper and
We're winging
typewriters.
it, buddy.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But one of the fundamental questions is, how does the human brain learn, and
Mm,
how and are we enabling that or disabling that
mm,
with our UI design? And
yeah,
so the concept of movement through data, it comes right out of neuroscience and learning. Okay,
mhm,
and basically the human brain learns best. The most natural way that the human brain learns is movement through the universe and in accordance with objects. So
mm,
if your brain predicts what your coffee mug is going to feel like, right? Because it's picked
yep,
it up a bunch of times. So your brain makes a prediction of what that coffee mug is going to feel like, and then it has an auto-correcting mechanism as you do pick it up. If anything's wrong or anything's different, it wakes up the brain initially, and it corrects its mental model or reference
mm,
frames in the brain. And so you have this beautiful auto-correcting mechanism that enables us all to go out into the world. Um, well, and it also applies to abstract concepts, right? In the article, I say, political structure, right? So what is democracy? What is socialism? What is communism? Right? What are those? Well, they're
mhm,
purely theoretical constructs. Okay, there is there's no socialism in the term of the coffee cup. You can see
mhm,
it, but it's the human brain, we find out from research, learns theoretical concepts every bit as well as it does its
mm,
interaction with physical things. And what comes out in the last few years, proven now in hardcore research, is that the brain will learn moving through its environment, even if it's virtual.
mm,
So we thought years ago that you had to move through the environment physically, right? I go through my house, I touch the coffee mug, I go to the
yeah,
office, I drive there, and the brain does it. It picks up all millions and millions of details, and then
right,
it grades them, so that you can walk out of your Starbucks with your coffee mug, and you don't really notice things around you. But if somebody puts a 9-foot big bird right next to you,
oh
you'll
yeah,
probably get all the way up there. You'll stop and you'll take a look at that big bird and say, "Yeah, okay, strange." But it'll
yeah,
update its model. So the human brain learns through movement,
hmm,
interaction with objects,
hmm,
and things, but it can do it through movement. Okay,
mm,
so if we apply that theory into development of next generation, right? Next generation AI presentation of data
yeah,
and the UI design for a wholly new user experience. So it's very exciting because this has an absolute
mm,
hard science background in the
yeah.
article. Maybe we
What
can
can that
post a
look
link to it
and
out
what
there.
can that look like as opposed to like what we're currently experiencing? What could that new design look like?
Yeah, so that gets really cool, and we're figuring that out now.
Yeah.
And that's what that you talk about some deep thought
Yeah.
to bang your head against the wall. What does that look like now? So if you start with here's my dashboard, right? And my
Yeah.
self-service BI or built by somebody, or you
Because
just
that's what we're used
right,
to. Yeah. The dashboard that
that's
we
what,
said.
right.
Yeah.
You're used to, and if you can say, and we can accurately say, these are these represent abstractism, and that's kind of a
Mhm.
Marty word, right? Yeah, but they're abstract to the human
I'll
brain.
buy it. Abstractism. I'll buy it, Dr. Marty. Go ahead.
So they're abstract. Okay, so how can we make movement through data or that concept? What is it different? And we have to reconceptualize the space by which data is presented, how it
Mhm.
is presented, and how the user can interact with it. And so I gave
Mhm.
it the name multidimensional object space. Okay,
Mm.
and here's where we bring in 3D and combine it uniquely with 2D because there's right. Let's not diminish the value
Yeah.
of dashboards, right? I mean, there you can still
Of
look
course.
at graphs and interact with them, etc. But can we combine the two things
Mm.
in a new representative environment that will allow us literally to move through the data, interact with it, drill down? You can see hierarchy, you can see
Mm.
relationships in degrees of separation.
Mhm.
You can explore those, but come back through.
I'm getting
And
that
we have
like
a
Iron Man feeling of being immersed. That's the kind of vibes you're giving me right now, Dr.
what
Marty.
that
Kind of
what
like the Iron Man dashboard that's in the air. We're in the data. Like what are we gonna do?
you can move well. And I'll tell you who did a really good job of representing what these could eventually look like is
Mm.
the movie's Avatar. The movie's
Oh.
Avatar, they hired data futurists,
Mhm.
designers, and they said, "What do you think analytics and data will look like, and we'll interact with it 50 years from now?" They actually did a phenomenal job. I lay money
Wow.
there wasn't a neuroscientist among them, but they were absolutely brilliant people. And if you go watch Avatar, you
Yeah.
see them scrolling through the landscape. So they're using typography and three-dimensional landscape, but
Yes.
the whole time there are other visual analytics displaying data, time, distance, density of things, right? And the
Mm.
users are gathered around this three-dimensional table with two-dimensional data, okay, ranging
Mm.
from graphs to tabular, and they're interacting with that. And the first movie, he says, we're looking at we have to move to this site, and these people occupy the site, so
Mhm.
we have to move the natives, and here's why. And he displays the mineral that they're looking for
Yes.
and the density and cluster of it. And he says, look at all this cheese, and the numbers are there, right? The distance is there. So that type of representation is actually spot on. So
Mm.
we have some conceptual ideas from some even from Hollywood. Go figure. We have to now bring in the hard science, okay? Because some of that was just meant for good looks, okay?
Yeah. And it looked
Everything
good.
we
It looked
built,
good. It served its
yeah.
purpose.
Oh, I tell you,
Yeah.
I would have given a lot to have been sitting in the room with
Yeah.
those designers and taking notes, because what we've done now is we've gone back and found the scientific basis of those things. So
Mm.
we're not going to just build them so they look cool. And people will ask you, well, what does three dimensional give you, right? Yeah. So
Mhm.
I've got my two-dimensional dashboard. Why would we build in three dimensions? And again, one, because the human brain learns through movement of three dimensions in the
Mm.
best. We have a few million years of developing the human brain to do that. It
Yeah.
understands that you can mix in abstract and concrete concepts. Okay, um,
Mhm.
uh, but if we then begin to really apply science to it and call it design tenets, okay,
Uh-huh.
such as we'll pick one, object memorability. Okay,
Mhm.
well, if you want somebody to look at a dashboard, well, tests today.
Yeah.
They'll take 50 executives and they'll have them look at a financial dashboard or whatever their domain of
Yes.
expertise is, right?
Mhm.
Operations, finance, marketing. And they'll say, you've got whatever, 30 seconds, look at this dashboard. And you pull them away from that, you give them about 2 minutes, and then you say, okay, let's go specifics over what you saw.
Yeah.
And
So what they remember what they saw is gonna be so low, isn't it? Yeah.
is so astronomically low,
And so you
it's
think
not
about once
funny.
they left that meeting, they forgot, and then they thought they remembered or saw something else, but I get it.
And they'll come away and so often remember only one or two things. right? And so, sometimes they're numbers when it's relevant to you, right, to the brain and decision making. Where operations are down 32%, expenses are up 40%. Then we'll remember those. But generally, the human brain is not geared to remember a number of precise facts. It remembers bigger pictures, and it remembers outcomes of things. Okay, it doesn't want to get eaten by the tiger. It wants to find a pot of gold. So we remember causality, events, etc. But there's where complementarity comes in, and from the new UI design, we can make human memory, okay, which is invariant. Does not remember obtain levels of precise details. We can timeline those things. You can interact with them in 3 dimensions, and then you can have all the things. So cybersecurity, right? How many instances of ransomware do we have? You can now scroll through a 3-dimensional timeline, okay, and be able to click that and say what was our Chicago plant compromised by ransomware last year, and click that, and it'll then bring you back to the Chicago plant. You can see the plant in 3D, where exactly the compromises were, the type of systems that were compromised. So you're right back up into that. It offers an infinite possibility to alter the sensory experience with analytics from a hard science basis. And so some objects, I said memorability, some objects are more memorable than others. Okay. Well, all right. Today, if you go talk to a UX, a UI designer, or even a data scientist, and you say, we want to present this data, what are the factors? And they'll list the factors: accuracy, precision, color flow, hierarchy, relations, right? Gestalt's, principles, and they're great. They're great. But at no point does somebody say, okay, let's design for memorability as one of the factors. And you get into you get into really cool things, right? So semantic dimensions are among the most powerful.
And
where
do you think
where
that
people
is this just because it's just finally evolving to that point, to where you're, so in the beginning it was just how do we get the information out there, right? And make it digestible so it can be recognized, and now it's finally evolving to this next level. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, 25 years ago, it was okay. We have all this data. We have a bunch of data. How do we begin to visualize it? And somebody came up with the concept of dashboards, and that's advanced significantly. We remember we had single panes of glass for a while, which were, by the way, the pinnacle of disaster and abstractism, because they shove so much data onto one screen, right? And what it did is promoted what we'll call left hemisphere thinking, because your right and left hemispheres, they function very well together, but they fundamentally look for very different things. One looks for immediate answers. It wants to confirm its bias and see what it believes to be true, the left, and the right wants tremendous rich context of the world, where the left does not want that rich context of the world. We can balance those two things out with that understanding, and it goes where we can have an hour-long conversation of this. But if you fundamentally understand the functions of the left and the right hemisphere, and we bring in other dimensions, okay, semantic dimensions, memorability, and 10 others, what if we could fundamentally alter the trajectory of digital transformation and the presentation of data in next generation, technology and analytics to dramatically improve how we make decisions, how we perceive data, everything.
And I want to switch it up a bit here for a moment. And I don't know if I'm supposed to bring this up, but you told me, so I got a big mouth. You're working on another book as well, other than the one that we're doing. Can you talk about that at all today? Like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like when you're working. I like when you're creating, man. It makes me feel good. I just let you know that.
Well, thank you. If we can just get me working on a beach in the Cayman Islands and somehow doing that would be great.
Hey, you and me both. Come on, man.
So we're working on a 2-part book set, but part one right now, and obviously these are no small efforts, but we're putting together about an 80-page call it executive field guide to digital transformation. From a human technology AI complementarity lens, this framing of it is supremely important. And they sound like big words, sound like
Yeah.
big words. So people say, oh yeah, of course we want the systems to, we want people and them to work together. No. This is absolutely a foundational element
Mm,
for us moving problem solving and innovation and
mm,
productivity into the future. Okay, for all of humankind. If we get this right, we solve problems that we've never been able to solve before. Okay,
mm,
and so I wanted to put together a very easy to read, with great illustrations and high level simple wording that a chief technology officer, a CEO, a senior a vice president, or a senior manager can
mhm.
get and give it quick reads. And each chapter is only going to be about 5-6 pages, and they're going to be at a non dribble and drool scientific level.
Yeah.
They'll be at a level where you can say, "Oh my gosh, that's correct, right?" And of course, then we'll put some of the deeper studies to it. But fundamentally, at your executive
Mm,
level, you have to understand. If you're going to say, "I want digital," I want artificial intelligence to be a central part of our business. I want
mhm.
humans and AI and technology solving problems together, right?
Yeah.
And I want better data driven decision making for real, not just because I said it 5 years ago. Okay,
Right.
we can provide a scientific basis that will guide their thought, and we can do it. I think in 85 simple pages,
Mm,
and that'll be coming out probably in just about 3 months. And hopefully we'll give them away at speaking events and other places, and
mhm.
have it a free downloadable PDF. And if you just want Marty's handsome face on the back cover, you can order a hardcover book for $9.95. And
Amazing.
the second one to that is going to be a practitioner's guide, which is going to
Mm,
go much deeper into these things like I've talked about. Okay, so you say we want to design for memorability. Well, what does that really mean? Right,
mhm.
at a design level, that gets very deep very quickly.
Mm,
When you say semantic properties, right? What are the two dimensions of semantic properties, right? So hopefully in the next 6 months, be
yeah.
able to really sit down and pound out two, in addition to the awesome book that is coming out on Mission Matters. I got to give you
Oh,
credit,
yeah.
Adam. The last several have hit the Amazon top 100, brother. And that is no small compliment to you guys.
Yeah. Well, game on. I'm excited about this next one. This will be our 11th edition, and it's been a long time coming. We have yourself,
Wow.
of course, and some other rock star authors that we'll be featuring. But I just have to ask, okay, so we're going into the new year now. We're doing this December 26th. What's on the agenda for 2025 for you? What does that look like? What's next?
Yeah. Well, frame out this theory
Yep,
and
we got the book.
really get it out. Yeah. Yeah. We
Two
got we got
books,
we got
maybe two
we
books
well.
coming out. Well, I know Mission Matters is
Yeah.
coming out 2025. So we got two books. We got
Yeah.
you're working through this theory. What else? Tell me some more, man.
Oh, gonna shift over a little bit to do more speaking type events, just on the
Mm,
professional level, do more speaking, because what I find it very effective to be able to go into an organization and talk
mhm,
about these advanced concepts for 2 days, right? You
yeah,
get up and you give a great presentation at the executive level. You have individual meetings, at the executive level, and it gets people really thinking. You leave with with some notes, and then you go sit down and you talk to the technical teams, and you do that for several hours. You do that over a couple of days, and then
mm,
they leave with all kinds of just places to go. And then you make yourself available. I make myself available. Me. I'm one of these people that has a hard time sleeping sometimes, and so you can call me at 1 in the morning, and I'm literally reading or writing or doing something on
yeah,
this stuff. Yeah, right. When I get to come out and stay on your future yacht, I'll try and sleep
yeah.
more. But yeah,
How do
so
people? So
more.
speaking or reaching out to you for speaking or otherwise, like how do people connect with you?
Yeah, well, I'm on LinkedIn, and you can look
Okay.
up, Dr. Marty Trevino, cognitive neuroscience. Obviously, this is our third podcast together.
Yeah.
Maybe this one, I guess I'll ask you to, have my LinkedIn on there, and
Mhm,
maybe we'll forward a shorter paper, or if we could put a link to either one of these,
mhm.
neuroscience and design. It's shocking how many people love the study of the human brain. They've just not had it presented in a way where it would actually impact the bottom line in business.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, we'll LinkedIn, and maybe we could put a link out there, and then to these articles. And I'm fairly easy to find. I'll even ask you to put an email. I talk to anybody. I don't. Money is not my top priority. So if anybody has a question or anything, they can just arrange, and I will hop on a Zoom call and talk their ear off.
Awesome. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes for you so you can check out more of Dr. Marty's work. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, new thought leaders, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Dr. Marty, if I don't talk to you before the new year, man, happy new year, and appreciate you coming on and all you do and all the value you bring to our community. So thank you.
No, Adam, I'm nobody without talking to great people like you. All the thanks to your organization. You guys have a wonderful organization, and may a wonderful and healthy and happy new year come, and 25 be a great year for all of us. Thank you, sir.